Hello everyone, it's such a pleasure to always spend time with you, and I have a dear friend and one of us, if you will. This is Andrea. She is a British chiropractor. That's pretty cool stuff. She was telling me, because she worked on me at one of our classes, and it sure felt good because of my knee was pulling my hip out, and she is this body work that's just unique in the way she works and manipulates soft tissue and allows, because I always said that that's even better because it'll stimulate the nerves properly, all the neural lymphatic points, it'll do all these sort of things, and you get too much. And we're just talking about Rolfing, and there's a medical doctor friend of mine that Rolfs. That she hurts people bad, and if you're a parathyroid person where you have real thin connective tissue in the vascular system, you could create an aneurysm. We talked about that before. So she is also a homeopathic physician and a whole line of other things, and a good friend. So she's in sitting and relaxing. She's from Canada, and we're going to go over some questions and have some fun here, and hopefully we only have an hour with you, so I apologize for that, guys, but at least we got an hour. So I just want to thank you all for all your hard work, and some of you guys are writing in here with some of the most incredible stories I've ever heard. So that's why the power of the one is so good. When we all work together, it's just so important to do that. And again, I just love you guys. You're doing so well. So we're going to take off and read some questions and answers and see where we come from here. This was an interesting, and I'm going to, I resonate with you, sweetheart. I resonate with you too, honey. She says, Dr. Morse talks about blood work, bun, creatinine, etc. I would love if Dr. Morse would explain blood work in a video. I thought that was an excellent idea. Now, we have it in our class, and we go over blood work in the class if we have time. I mean, there's just, it seems like when we do those classes, it's like I'm on my side going, I don't have enough information to give all these people for a whole week. And then when the week's over, I'm going, God, I only gave them a fraction of what, you know what I'm saying? And it's so much information. Yeah. But I can't make heads or tails of mine, and there are flags all over it. Well, you know what, sweetheart? If I have another no-show or something today, maybe we'll do a blood work and go over blood work. And you can throw in there anything you see that you like in the blood work, and we will talk about that because you keep it simple. And you're looking for lymphatic expressions in the blood work. Another thing, we'll go over that. Matter of fact, there was another question here. I was just, this one.
The one about the blood cancer.
Yes, the one about the blood cancer. Yeah. I thought this was an excellent question. Lasha, that sounds Swedish. Are you Swedish? I had a good friend, Lasha, from Sweden, and he was here. It was the summer when I was young on the beach, and I met him there, and we had a lot of fun. I am seeing Marcy, and she is fantastic. I love your videos. I am making great progress. Thanks, sweetheart. Or is that a male or a female?
Not sure.
If it's a male, I love you, man. If it's a female, I love you too. That's the trouble with an old country boy. Some of you guys' names are, I don't know whether you're a male or female because it's just, foreign names in different countries. Yeah. But on the one hand, I am told that cancer cannot survive in an alkaline environment. On the other hand, I am told that blood is always alkaline or you will die. Could you please explain blood cancer to me? And once they explain it to me, I'll explain it to you. Because the ridiculousness of this is just what you're already perceiving. Cancer is of a damaged, mutated cell. It isn't of a fluid, has nothing to do with fluids. It has to do with a cell. Matter of fact, we talked about this before, that the only way that you can tell whether there's cancer cells in the body is, what do you have to do? You have to get one, or a bunch of them, right? And who do you take them to? Because there's only one physician that can actually tell you that you have cancer cells. And it's not an oncologist. It's a pathologist. Very familiar with pathology. I told you I was going to work as a histologist, which is under a pathologist, and just get my feet wet in chemistry more. But pathology labs are unworkable in my opinion. You talk about a cancer place. I mean, you can't even breathe all the chemicals involved in staining cells. I couldn't stay in the lab. I said I couldn't work for you if I had to. I can't breathe these toxic chemicals. So it's a toxic place to work. I feel sorry for people that work in pathology labs and that stain cells and stuff. You guys anyone out there, a histologist, knows exactly what I mean. You got to protect yourself. So they generally dub blood cancer as leukemias. This would only be true if the red blood cells were damaged or the white blood cells were damaged, if you will. I've had T-cell lymphomas, but they were called lymphomas. So I don't know. When your platelets are down, you're losing your platelets. That's how your blood coagulates and clots. So when you lose your platelets, your blood doesn't want to clot. So when your platelets gets too low and you cut yourself, you're just going to sit there and watch yourself bleed out because you're not going to have clotting factors. So the platelet count is important. It's on the blood work on the CBC with diff. And that's your complete blood count. That has your white blood cells, your reds, your hemoglobin, hematocrits, cell size, all these kind of things they take a look at in terms of blood analysis. So the problem with calling leukemias cancer, and many nurses have said this to me too, they don't know how they're stretching that word cancer to leukemia. Because low platelets does not mean damaged cells. Although it can if you go into the bone marrow and you find those cells have been damaged and you're not getting platelet formations or the spleen. So you can look at it that way, but I tell you, they're all lymphomas. And most leukemias are considered lymphomas. It's hard for you to understand, but all the diagnosis I get in here is lymphatic-induced leukemias. And so it goes back to the lymphatic system again. Now, in truth, we have a lot of firemen in the world that fight chemical fires, and I've seen leukemias come out of chemical fires. Now, that would be damage to the spleen or bone marrow, and that would affect the production of platelets or white blood cells. So if you have high white blood cells and low platelets, that's leukemia. If you have low white blood cells and low platelets, that's leukemia. So there's all types of leukemia. And anything you want to put on that, you can, about the leukemias. But I had this conversation with a nurse the other day, and she says, I just don't get where they call them cancers. And I said, well, I don't either, but we'll call it that way. Now, if you had a cancerous bone marrow, or you had cells, or you had cancer cells of the spleen, okay. But if I suppress the spleen with inflammation or with acidosis, and I suppress the platelet formation or the cleaning of the reds or whites or any function of the spleen, then I don't have to damage the cells of the spleen and create a cancer cell out of that to suppress platelet formation or platelet production or white cell production. That wouldn't cause a cancer. So it's a good question. It's one that I don't know of any answers. If you know of anything any more about the leukemia relationship to calling it a cancer, it's interesting. Because cancer, you have to always remember this, it's not an entity that speaks of itself. It's not like a living, breathing entity. Although, when you get a tumor that's been feeding so much lymph and blood, it can act like an entity. I tell you, some of these tumors we get in here are, we actually pulled a tumor this big once. It was huge, and we only got it, it ended up about this big. I think you saw it in class there, and then Johns Hopkins had to cut it off. It just wouldn't fall off. It had so much of a blood supply to it. But my opinion, though, with leukemia is that they're not cancers. I don't know the stretch of that. Some of you might be able to throw in on that, but we've never understood that ourselves, and neither has a lot of nurses looking at that same thing.
I think it's just the way they're interpreting
the way
word
they,
again.
yeah.
Just,
but they always call leukemias cancers, always do. And I tell you, it can make the difference between grabbing your kid and giving him chemo, and then that's what they do. We got one right now that they've almost killed him. I don't know, it's a little 4-year-old runaway we've been talking about. And this oncologist promised me upside and down, I've got a 65 or 75% cure rate with chemo you do on little kids like this where the platelets were non-existent and he's almost dead? I don't think so. And of course now the little man, they suspect cancer in the eye from the chemo. So it's just like, and they've got this little kid in a prison where the parents, you can't get to him. And the doors are locked, everything's locked. I mean, this is like a futuristic movie that you just can't believe in, where the machines take over and man becomes mongoloid in their thinking, that sort of thing. So this is an excellent question, and I have to say that I don't see that word associated with that myself. But whenever you have a leukemia, what do you have to do? You have to know that almost all of this, unless you're bringing in like a fire where you have high acid chemistry that's going to damage your reds right there and your whites in your blood, then you're really looking at a lymphatic damage to the bone marrow, to the spleen, to the liver, to wherever. And that can affect blood viscosity, blood, everything, to the cells, to the nature of the fluid, to everything, to the way the blood cells stick. If you ever look at blood under a microscope, and you can see the variances of pHs can make blood cells separate or make blood cells stick to each other and follow each other like choo-choo trains. You ever see that? Or cluster. And that's some of the problems. And enzymatic, less food contributes to that anionicness of blood that makes it a little, what they would call thicker, I guess, but a little more anionic. The ability to adhere, to conglomerate, and that sort of thing. That's why the pH of the blood, you can't mess with that. And that's why taking alkaline water in the 9 pHs is not savvy. Your blood's only 7.4, so you're pulling your blood up into alkalosis. And that's not good either. Balance.
It's too much.
Too much on one side. Okay. You can't do either. So the problem, how do you regulate that? And that's been my quest. You can't. You can only allow nature to regulate that and your body to regulate that. So what we do is go in and clean it out of all the things that impair or conglomerate or in some way change the metabolitic factors, the respiratory factors, all the factors that need the proper pHs to happen, the proper ionization, oxidation, all these factors are changed with pHs, and that's what I said before. Life is just a variance of pHs. At one pH level, something happens at another, you'll see another action from that. And you start to see that either cationic or anionic factors involved in acid or base. One breaks apart and the other coagulates. And it's almost the opposite of anionic or anabolic and catabolic. So it's just pulling back and taking a look at these processes and getting those in your mind and getting that picture painted for yourself, because that's the only way you can look at that is kind of pull back and look at all these factors of the body, look at the two sides of chemistry, look at the two fluids, look at the cells, and use your own conclusions. And I have a feeling this individual came to the same conclusion that most of us do. How is leukemia based into a cancer? They're more a lymphatic problem, but then they're called lymphatic leukemias. So, interesting world out there. It's enough to say that I haven't seen too many leukemias, and I use the word easy, but that's because we have so many friggin' tough cases, but I've not seen too many leukemias a person couldn't turn around. You know, this young man had so low platelets that we needed to keep blood transfusions in him and platelet transfusions and things to keep his blood counts up. But that's okay while you're working on somebody.
And you're strengthening.
Well, yeah, while you're strengthening and you're going into the spleen, you're getting into the bone marrow. Absolutely. And I tried to work with child services in California. Oh, no. You know, they lie to you. And it's like, and this was a young girl, and I said, you know, if you have a baby and it gets cancer, are you going to take this baby this way, your baby this way? And you know what? You're not going to have a choice anyway. And so it's just, they just don't get it, you know, and they're the parent, and their kid is being grabbed and taken into chemo. They don't get it. And these are child services people that have kids themselves. That's amazing stuff. I don't know. So other than that, I don't really know how to answer that. I want to say this about an alkaline environment. There never is a 100% alkaline environment. we say those things, and alkalize or die book, and we used to have the philosophy alkalize, and it's true in the broad sense, but in reality, there's a balance of chemistry.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Yeah.
When you eat fruits and berries and melons, you're eating acid principles, and you're eating base principles. Absolutely. And the same thing with vegetables and everything else. Unless they dominate, they're more like blood. They dominate on the base side. And it's not a heavy domination, but at least it's a domination. And that's the factor. When you eat foods that dominate on the acid side, then you have to understand that you're also dealing with a high creation of acids at the cellular level on top of that. So acid on top of acid has never yielded anything good.
No.
Yeah. So thanks for the question. I thought it was really good. And it is difficult with the leukemias to discuss those things of what exactly, why they would call them a cancer, unless your blood cells are damaged themselves, you know. And that's what I see in fires and things like that, in chemical fires and stuff like that, where you're ingesting acids right in. I think the potential, of course, as a smoker or someone bringing acids into the blood, bypassing the liver, you know, through the lungs, is a dangerous practice in moving the blood in that direction. But as many smokers that have been out there, you notice that that hasn't been the formation of blood cancer so much, which you would think that a heavy smoker, you would see a lot more leukemias in that way, if indeed we were talking about blood cell cancer. You know, so I don't know. You know, some of these things are like, you know, that field is a little up and down. Hi, Dr. Morse. My name's James.
My name's James.
I love that. James, proud to meet you, man. I love your work. I'm glad I stumbled off. Thanks, man. I have a question regarding vision. It's not exactly my eyes, but my visual cortex in the brain, or something, not sure exactly. It started after doing a few psychedelics. Whew. Maybe you never came back home. Maybe you're still out there, man. Then my altered vision came about a few months and got worse over time. I see heaps of floaters in both my eyes all the time. I tell you what, get on this eye wash, James, and start washing your eyes out AM and PM. And you just get a little eye cup. If you don't, we've got them here. It's only a couple bucks, but you put a little skin temperature water in an eye cup and about 12 drops of the eye wash and start washing your eyes. This will topically start stimulating blood and lymph flow. Internally, guess what you got to do internally? You got to start moving your lymph, because you want lymph floaters as opposed to retina floaters, you know, retina detachment and stuff like that. Yeah, don't think that's too much fun. But there's a lot of mucus that gets into the fluids and into the eye there that acts like floaters. So by topically and internally taking that form, and by moving that lymph system, you'll clean all this out. And you'll upper circuit brain and nerve always when you see cases like this, because you're getting blood more aggressively flowing to the eye tissue, to the cortex, to everything, and also you're strengthening with the brain and nerve too. At the same time, you're removing the acid and the mucus, because again, you can get mucus floaters all the time, but you can also get detached retinas and all kinds of detachments there from the same problem, acidosis. So it's coming and seeing that same thing. I think the psychedelics was just I don't think that was the direct cause of that. I think it was just an instigator, a neural weakness. That's weakened your nervous system just a little bit enough to, because all of these are a little neurotoxic. Even the weed is neurotoxic. So there's a little neurotoxicity to these things, but nothing like, let's say, mercury or something like that. But it's enough to say that if you had a little weakness there to begin with, you had a little neurotoxicity ingestion, you're going to see a kick from that. And probably just lowered enough to really make it a symptom in front of you. But I'll say the floaters and stuff, probably not from the psychedelics, probably from your lymph system, man. When I look at something bright and blink, I can see the image on the wall. Yeah, if it's really...
It stays there, doesn't it?
Yeah. It can last up to 1 to 2 minutes, occurring more than I blink. I see heaps of static or a lot of dots at night. Very bad, foggy brain. Feels so... Yeah, feels so... You're feeling just what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's just congested.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just congested, man, and that's just lymph and mucus and stuff like that. It's just got to come out. So you need a good cold and flu-like symptom. You go out and hug somebody that's sick. Go somewhere where people are sick and see if you can.
Natural detox.
Yeah, get a natural detox, and that's the quickest way. And the trouble is, when you're on a raw food diet and you're on the herbs, it's hard to get one. You know, it'll pull you into one when it's time, but you can walk around all the sick people in the world, you ain't going to get nothing. That's the problem with a good, clean terrain. But if you're opening up the kidneys and you're flowing good, the body doesn't need to purge itself like that. So you just don't seem to get them. Your body's feels like it's doing, because your body does this, and it's just like your body's feeling comfortable with the rhythm of your cleaning, and so it's good, you know. But you want to get this out of the head area, because this is leading you down a serious road, and these kind of roads lead to dementia, Alzheimer's, retinal detachments, MACDs, stuff like. Crap like this that no one wants. I mean, this stuff is what you don't want. When it affects your head, get it out of here, because this is your last connecting link to soul, to yourself. So you want to really get this head cleaned up here. Along with very red veins, which are there exactly, and that's just showing that you're systemically. Remember, each little vein relates to tissue in the body, and it's just the body's just you know that more than anybody. How the body's just one organism related all together. Connected. Oh yeah, that's right. And so that's just what you're seeing there, and the eyes are showing you that you're inflamed all over the place. You tied one on.
Too many.
Yeah, too many tied one ons with the meats and stuff maybe when you were younger. And just recently I've noticed if I blink on the white background, I can actually see my own veins on the, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, get up in there and upper circ brain and nerve, take the eye wash both topically and internally, start getting the kidneys and the adrenals up, get your bowels cleaned up so everything can drain down this way, and also get those kidneys filtering, James, and get this out of there, because nothing good leads to these symptoms. Nothing good. And the trouble is that nothing just sits there and just sits there. Things are either getting a little worse, or a little better, or a lot better.
That's the same one.
Same one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My name's James again.
Yep.
He's back again.
Oh, back again. Hi, I have cured myself of type 2 diabetes on high blood pressure and sleep apnea, reverse all illnesses, but I still suffer from high... how do you pronounce that?
Astigmatism.
Astigmatism. Yes. That's why I have her here. Because that always has been a tongue twister to me. It's like, an old farm boy, you know.
Farm boy.
Yeah. In my left eye, can you recommend anything far as diet or treatments at best for me? And thanks. Same thing. Same exact thing. Because you're strengthening the optic nerves. You're strengthening everything related to the eye tissue, to the brain tissue, everything related to that, you're strengthening. Just like you did with type 2. It sounds like you got everything on the run. You just got to keep digging deeper and get this head drained out. This is kind of the Hering's law of cure, but I disagree with that, because if you'll notice that when you start detoxifying, it's not from the head down. That's the last place to go, because if you got tumors up here, and let's say, because I've had this many times where I got a tumor in the brain, I got a tumor in the liver. Guess which tumor's going first? The liver tumor. The brain tumor is just further away. And so it just takes a while to get up here and drain this. That's why I say good cold and flu-like symptoms, good purging up here, take it and run, baby. Yeah. Now, same thing though. Same thing. Upper circ brain and nerve, use the eye wash topically and internally and get everything moving. Sounds like you're already doing a great job. You guys are just doing so great. I love you guys. Isn't that nice to see them? They're taking their power in their hands. He's got his adrenals back online. He's getting his kidneys out. Absolutely. So keep digging in, man. All right, let me see here. This is kind of
a bit of an essay.
A bit of one. This is Gina. Hello, this is Gina, and this is my second time contacting you about a tumor in my right leg, which has been surgically removed now. I am so grateful for your guidance and response. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I appreciate how your understanding of the spiritual nature of us living beings empowers your wisdom. Thanks, honey. I appreciate that. That's my favorite place to be, because that's our survival, beyond this little drama. This is our survival. It's who we are and our ability to understand how we move through creation and yet not be sucked in and lost in it. It's like being lost in your drama. Cardassians believe in their drama. I saw one on the Kelly or one of them this morning. And now they have a line of baby clothes. It was the older lady. All right. So where am I? All right. So thank you for that, though, sweetheart. After some ups and downs since the last email, I have started a grape fast. Oh, wow. Oh, that's fantastic. And was hoping humbly for some advice as to this healing process. Unfortunately, the previous message was on the more dramatic side. Okay, let's see. It has been 2 months since the involuntary hospital experience. Well, you know, sometimes involuntary, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, that's the problem. Some of these involuntary processes, when they grab you and do things. But here's the thing. At least you know what created the tumor, honey, and go fix it. Go fix those kidneys, get them filtering, get your adrenals up, of course, and really get your lymph moving. Because you have to fix it. If you have a surgeon remove a tumor, that's all they did. They went to the cause of the problem and they addressed the cause. I mean, the symptom of that. Now you have to go back and address the cause of that. And so I just, get your kidneys filtering, get your, like I said, your adrenals up, get your bowels cleaned out, get everything moving. Because, you don't want the knees or the hips to have problems in the future. Okay, this is it in summary. The morning after I was first taken, that's not a good word. They got that movie Taken. Oh my God, not a good word. They wheeled me down to the pediatric, so that's why, of course, surgery, and the surgeon and other doctors were present. I bet that was a frightful experience for her. Because I think, Gina, I don't know how old you are, sweetheart, but I think you're a teenager. That's a problem. There's so many teenagers that are on this channel, and I just love these guys. When I see a teenager write me, a 16-year-old or a 14-year-old writing me with serious trouble, my heart just drops right there. Yeah. It's like, of course we're here for you. I mean, so.
But isn't it great that at their age they already understand?
They know the right. Oh,
isn't that amazing?
I can't even tell you how amazing that is. I can't even tell you. It is phenomenal that they even have the audacity and the consciousness to ask. Yeah. Because I wouldn't have at 14. No way. No. And that's what I've said. We have the golden children here. We have the Aquarian children here. We have advanced souls coming to this planet. When you're 14 asking these questions, you're an advanced soul. Yeah. You're an awakened one, or soon to be an awakened one. Yeah. That's all I can say about it. This world needs all you guys here. Pediatric surgery, and the surgeon and other doctors present. I was told by them that my leg would have to be amputated, most likely. Oh my God! As the tumor was wrapped around a blood vessel, it was 12 centimeters in length. Pretty good length, although the surgeon cut a foot-long incision, as shown in the CAT scan they took, but never disclosed to me. Look at that. Also, that's why some surgeons, you just sneaky little fellas. Also, I did not have any metastasis. But, metastasis, just remember, we were just talking about this earlier, cancer doesn't have a consciousness that goes, we're going to chew you up here, and then we're going to go over there and chew on you over there. Oh, let's go over there. Yeah. Everybody, let's run over there and chew on her over there. Oh, look, let's go up here and chew on her up there. This is a systemic problem in the first place. This is a lymphatic problem. It's systemic. It's head to toe, sweetheart. That's the other problem you face. This is where you were the weakest. This is, if you look in your eyes, you'll probably find this is the genetically weakened area where the lymph was a little more difficult to move in that area in the first place. This is when you see the real problems start popping up, but your potential to have tumors all through you is there. So you really want to get on this and get these kidneys filtering, get this lymph moving. Also, I did not have, after expressing, he never had taken a patient without their consent before me. Oh, holy crap! Oh, my God.
I have to undergo chemo, and he would put the port in my chest.
Holy my God. So here's the thing, guys. They wanted to put a port in her chest. It's what they call a subclavian port. They dump it. They put that right in the aorta, which is a large artery going into the heart. And the problem with that is they start weakening the aorta because chemo, of course, is Drano, high acid. That starts sucking the calcium out of the walls of the arteries, especially right there, and that's why you have aortic aneurysms. A lot of them post chemo. These, what did he say? Did you read it? Expressed that I would have to undergo chemotherapy, and he would put the port in my chest. He said to not follow up the surgery with chemotherapy. He said to not follow up the surgery with chemo and radiation. Well, I kind of like this guy already. Maybe he's on your side. Which are not proven to help the survival rate of people. I like this doc already. I like this surgeon already. And this is what the surgeons need to develop. The truth.
He said to not follow up the
surgery with chemo and radiation, which are not proven to help the survival rate for people with this type of tumor. And none of the tumors anyway, guys. Okay, chemo and radiation, you might live another 2 or 3 months. I've seen them. They come in here all the time and tell me these stories, and they say they promised me it'd buy me 2 more years, and they've only given me a few weeks or a few months. This common stuff would be suicidal. All this stuff. I love you. You got a good surgeon, I think, here, dear one. I wouldn't be too upset about this because sounds like he's pretty smart, especially. I was then put to sleep and woke up with both legs still attached. Yeah, and the chemo port in place. Damn! By the merciful nature of great souls in my life and forces I didn't understand, the pathology report said that there was no evidence of cancerous cells in the surrounding tissue. Thank you very much. I didn't have the genetic mutation 90% of people have with this. I was told that the whole gastrocnemius muscle was removed. Oh my God. But the
OR reports weren't
disclosed. They grow that bad? The OR reports were not disclosed to me. I cannot walk, although I wasn't initially sure if I would be able to. Also, the port was removed after. Yeah! Okay. Well, you start rebuilding tissue. And this, at a certain point, you want to go on the ultimate immune to do that. I went through different things at first, but I have come back to some balance. I ate some simple fruits and some lettuce for about a week. Then this weekend, I fasted for 2 days, except for drinking psyllium husk and bentonite clay. I have also been doing an enema with a quart of water and juice lemon daily to start. I started eating grapes, black-seeded ones, along with a glass of bentonite clay, and psyllium husk. I think after a few days I will switch to taking the GI Broom, absolutely. I am taking herbal formulas for the adrenals, absolutely, and kidneys. And take a brain and nerve, build yourself up from the anesthesia.
Yeah, to clear it.
The propofol. To strengthen yourself and to get all this out. Now let me see. In your previous response, you recommended especially that I take an herbal formula for the kidneys, adrenals, and lymphatics. Are these best taken during the grape diet? Absolutely. If I was you, I would really hit my kidneys and lymphatics. Make sure your kidneys are filtering, sweetheart. Check the urine for sediment. Get on the lymphatic formulas. Get on the adrenal formulas. Start getting what you think. And then you can come in there and start moving.
Absolutely.
Oh, see, she knows how to take the body and
move things around.
Move it, in the right way. And that's what's neat. But you're in Canada.
I know.
I said when I first saw you, I said, she's in Canada.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
That's right.
Now, let me see. I often have great hunger and less strong digestion. This might be a good time to pop some green drinks. Parsley, dandelion greens, of course I don't know if they're in season yet. I definitely do some alfalfa sprouts, real green, let them get real green. You can take what you buy in the store, put them in a glass container, put a lid on it, sit it in the sun for a day or two, green them up. And that'll real strong. At the same time, I would take the Bones formula. And that's because it's tissue repair. And you're into tissue repair. At the same time, make sure your parathyroid is up there so you're utilizing calcium properly. You want to accelerate the regrowth of tissue. At the same time, the ultimate immune, because we have the antler in there. And that is a major cellular proliferator. I mean, it really will help to regenerate tissue. You've got comfrey salves I'd throw on that. Comfrey's knit bone. It's just a Tremendous cellular regenerator. Comfrey leaf and root. Golden seal. There's all horsetail. There's all kinds of neat stuff, and that's in the Bones formula. But stuff like that, you can do. You can put it on the surgical area as a salve. It's not going to hurt. It's going to make it heal so much better and quicker. Don't be afraid to do it. Ever put herbs on surgical wounds and stuff like that, or anything like that. Let me see, let's digest it. Recently had pains in my abdomen, mostly the right side, probably colon. I hope to work on cleaning and rebuilding the intestines, and working on the liver and kidneys. Other symptoms I've had in recent times are fatigue, inflammation. Well, inflammation is acidosis, dull pains in my chest area, again, same thing, and headaches.
Detoxification,
Also, there is pain in my kidneys. You know, kidneys. You know, we're gotta get those babies in order. To get well, we gotta lick those little kidneys and love on them and get them filtering. Other symptoms, let me see here. Also, there's pain in my kidneys and weaknesses throughout during the fasting. I have done some reading on grape fasting, such as Jonathan, absolutely. And I would like to fast until I stop losing weight and eliminating toxins. Well, you know what's nice about a grape diet? Because it's really not a fast. It's a diet. It's a tropical diet. A tropical diet is a fruit diet. You know, when you interview some of these 90 and 100-year-old people, as I have, and you listen to their stories way back when the islands were poor, and a lot of them are still poor, but they didn't even have the meat on the islands. So these people had to eat what's on the islands, and your poor islands were fruit havens. And of course, as National Geographic claims, we're islander, the Homo sapiens species is an islander species. I concur totally, and you get so much better, so much faster with that. So I would say that enjoy all those grapes that you got, and you got some black-seeded ones too, but that's powerful. I'm wondering about how many grapes to eat. You know, that's the beauty of it. We don't count calories, but we don't care. You can have a bushel basket. I don't care how much you eat. You know, and that's the beauty of it. I don't care how much, and you know what? I don't care how often you eat. If your body can digest and break this stuff down and wants more, follow that leader there, because
the body will tell you.
Body will tell you. Yep.
Now she's got a half-gallon of thick mucus tubes coming out of the colon. Wow. Every time she performs an enema, a new fist-sized blob of mucus is expelled.
Wow, look at that.
Wow.
She's getting a gallon of thick mucus tubes coming out from my colon every time I perform an enema. Well, this is going to come out anyway. And I'd get myself on a bowel formula that'll clean and restore, but also gently move this out. And number 2 is a good one to do that with, the GI Broom. Because that's what you should be seeing, just mucus and mucus and mucus. And she sees a gallon of mucus. That's a lot of mucus. Yeah. And you can get a gallon of, get this, I had an old dentist get a gallon of mucus out of his head. Out of his head! He's going, my God, and he's a dentist, so he's a medical doctor, and he's going, I didn't know you could have all that in the head area. And I said, I didn't either. You know, this was 30 years ago, but it was poured and poured and poured out. This is it. But I've come to find out he was raised in an orphanage on milk and white flour. That's all they had. He said, if we saw an apple, we thought we died and went to heaven. So, that's early 1900s. These places where the orphanages and stuff, horrible stuff.
She is taking the psyllium as well, so she wondered if that.
Of course, much of it comes straight from the psyllium husk. Well, not really. No. The psyllium is a bulk and a roughage thing. Yeah. This mucus is coming from your mucosa. Out. The psyllium might be binding it for you, but really this mucus is from your own mucosa, from your own lymph system.
And the bentonite too.
Mm-hmm. Bentonite. Yeah.
Right,
the bentonite is also. Well, if you see matter of fact, I just had one here, and I just do it. Oh, what did I do with that? And I just. It might be right under here. No. Anyway, I had some pictures of Dr. Jensen's black stuff that comes out of the bowels and everything here. I've just had I just had that here. Yeah. Well, anyway, this black mucoid plaque. Some of that's from the charcoal and stuff in there as well. Although there is black plaque on the wall. You hear this from colonoscopies all the time where the medical doctor says, oh, you've been abusing yourself with laxatives, or you've been taking herbs because you've stained your colon wall. And that's not stained. That's mucoid plaque. And once the body's in expectoration mode, and you start bringing that base chemistry in more, and there are more expectorant-rich foods, you're going to break all that up. You're hydrating, you're loosening, you're breaking this stuff up, so it's going to come out black and things. But some of what you're taking are binders to things, and that's why sometimes you get them out in stringy and things like that. But it doesn't matter how you get them out. You're going to get a lot of mucus out. Yeah. But you want it in your urine too. Sometimes I'm doing every day as much and much less eliminations. Well,
she's
but
saying that her partner's doing the same, but he's not getting as much.
Well, some people have more than others. That's all there is to it. Some people have more congestion and mucus in them than others. Depends what you're raised, how much milk you drink, how much cheese, all that other kind of stuff. We weren't cheese freaks, but milk freaks. Yeah. Of course, much comes. I don't see how people eat cheese. Also, to me, cheese is nasty. Also, I have
it's rubber.
Some people, it is rubber, and some people love that. I remember when I was over in France with Eileen Lang, which is Shania Twain, and they were raw, but the cheese cart came, and it's like, wasn't that raw because we were the number one French chef of the world, number two French chef of the world, blah 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 blah. But I don't know. All right, sounds like you did really good, Gina. I tell you this, honey, I'm so happy you ended up with your leg, and you ended up with a surgeon with a good head. And they're out there. And those are the medical doctors I go, oh my God, here's a breath of fresh air. Because you're a young woman. And to go through trauma and to chemo, I love this surgeon. But this surgeon made a statement that's true in all of them. None of them do well with chemo and radiation. I don't care what levels they are. Good. Gina, we're all on your side, sweetheart. So now you got to address your lymphatic system. That was a lymphatic tumor. Address your lymph system. This is Joe. This is Mr. Joe. My name is Joe, and you've been a real light to me. Thanks, Joe. In many times of trouble. Thanks, my friend. Thank you for always giving hope. You got it, man. You know why? Because don't ever get down that you can't call us up here and we can't put an arm around you. Don't let yourself get down too far in this world. This is just your drama here. And any time you can take that drama and put it outside of you. So we were talking about that earlier. As a practitioner,
it's
keeping that exactly.
Yes, it is.
Keeping that other person's karma away from you. Because a healer is a loving soul. You're all here. You start to awaken to God more. You naturally want to help people, and you just out of the love of your heart and God, and you just want everybody to be happy and everything else. And that can yield you some karma. It's like you have to just give that love to those willing to take it, and those that are taking. How to embrace the people that love you, and how to be cautious those that are digging on you. So good work there. But always if you get down, go to nature, plug in, because the big mama is always there to hug you, And if you can't go into yourself, into that quiet, alone state where only you exist, and then you'll find out who you really are in that state. And everybody's there. Everybody's there. Now, I have been listening to your videos, and currently I am going all raw. Wow, that's pretty cool. I am so proud of so many people going all raw and doing raw. Yeah. Remember, years ago, there's just a light up. You were a light up there. I'm a light over there. She's been doing it almost, 20-some years, going toward the 30-year mark. So she's been doing it a long time, too. So, when you pass 20 years in the field, you've got some distance behind you. That's for sure. Because working on people for 20 years, and at the rate you do, you see more people than I do. Just as in the nature of your business, Yeah, and it's like, that's amazing. I couldn't see that many people not come out with my head going like this.
Well, my head is good, but I just do a good job pretending that it's not. Right?
Oh my! I don't know how you. I have ordered Kidney Bladder number 1, Lymphatic system 3, parasite GM, GI Broom, stomach and bowel 2, upper circ, and adrenal glands. I am a 24-year-old male, and for the last 5 months have been battling an illness. I was continually getting strep throat when I was 23. So, you know now in this detox, don't get upset, Joe, but in this detox, you might get it one more time. It is possible that this will come out raging, maybe even lose your voice.
It's all good.
Keep pushing, all good, all good. Keep pulling, pulling, pulling. And you're going to see the same thing happen that Gina sees happening. Maybe not the volume, but you're going to see the mucus. You start spitting up mucus, and then that soreness will just go right away. And you go, what? Mucus caused this? Absolutely. Acid mucus, inflammatory, swelling, everything like that.
And he had to have his tonsils out.
Oh, what? Until I had to take my tonsils out in the middle of the year. Oh, I like his little, Now, I very much regret this. But you know what? I think that's why it's important that all of us as a team work together to infiltrate this world. Because this is a simple remedy for this young lad.
Dr. Morse, when I was a young girl, they removed my tonsils and adenoids because I snored. But you know what? My body grew them back quite nicely.
Oh, wow!
No. Then at 11, they took them out again. So I know.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. So I know.
So I only talk about people like her, where they remove them twice.
Yeah.
Now listen to this. I had a guy that it grew back for the third time. The third time it grew back for the third time. What does that tell you about the body's ability to heal itself? Isn't that cool? The fact that they grew back the second time. So we've seen thyroids grow back. We've seen, of course, livers grow back all the time. So we know that the body can regrow tissue, including neural tissue, but we also have to know and be savvy what makes tissue grow and flourish and what suppresses and breaks it down. And that's what you guys are learning, and you're doing such a great job. I'm so proud of every one of you. Everything seemed fine after the surgery. After 3 months, I was in great health until I had a stressful life experience and was very, very anxious. See, what are you telling me here? Very anxious and stressed out for 2 weeks. This was 6 months ago. When the situation resolved, I was very happy until a week later, I noticed my stomach was very bloated and distended because in that stressful time, your adrenals took a dump. They always take a dump in those stressful times. How strong they are genetically determines how quick you rebound from those emotional hits. And if you don't rebound well, you'll notice that your lymph system gets much worse in the period where you're down emotionally. That's because when you're emotionally down, your kidneys are down. And when your kidneys are down, your lymph system's down. And so when all this is down, then the acids start building up. And the stress, again, more acids, more epinephrine, more function of cells, and more acid production. When the situation was very happy, I noticed my stomach was very bloated and distended until this day. After a month of bloating and loose stools, I developed extreme fatigue, eye floaters, hair falling out, brain fog, memory loss. Well, you know what happened? That was just your click, and the switch went on. This was already building up in you, man. I didn't create it. This was already there, but it was your switch. You can go on in life, and you go on in life, and everything seems to be pretty good. You're doing good. You're going on. You're not eating the best, but you're going on, and then wham! It just hits you. Just one day you wake up and bam, that's it. And that's just what happened to you. These things were already there, though, man. I'm telling you. You did not create these with this, but you sure exacerbated it by your emotional weakness there. And I'm right with you. I get beat up emotionally constantly. So it's just... it's just that sort of thing, and it's just developing the ability to talk to the hand, the faces, and the listening syndrome. And it's hard when it's a mate or it's a loved one. It's hard to be detached because you pulled yourself right into the experience emotionally, I look very ill and unhealthy, and it is truly sad. Well, what this is telling me that you're loaded lymphatically, you have probably malabsorption. It's in your liver, in the wall of your liver. It could be in the wall of your pancreas. You remember, when your lymph's backed up, it's a systemic backed up. And so he's probably backed up all through him. Yeah. That's why he's looking gaunt, he's looking thin, he's looking bloated. Yeah. He's not digesting his foods properly, everything else. So what I would do is relax. Go on a fruit, berry, and melon diet. If you have to have a salad tonight, okay. Tell you, I will go into the detox. I like your formulas. Now, what's nice is we have them in kit form, so you don't have to buy individual ones. And the first kit, guys, is a dewormer. It's a liver gallbladder. It's a lymph. It's a kidney. It's an endocrine gland. So it's just what you need to start this cycle. If you just did one kit, to start the cycle.
Just gently.
Whatever you can do, absolutely. And start this ball a rolling, because all these things, extreme fatigue, you got your adrenals, and you might even, your pituitary could have taken a dump and everybody else is dumping with it. Now, added the fact that you dumped your adrenals, so your thyroid can be dumped, your pituitary, everybody's dumping. Eye floaters, hair falling out. Right? So but that would make sense. He could have a pituitary dump because his head's full of inflammation or acidosis, taking off the hair. Huge bags under his eyes, so he's in kidney failure for sure, in terms of obviously not filtering. So this is getting yourself back online. And I have been to plenty of GI doctors, even at the University of Chicago, where they found no signs of inflammation, bowel disease through colonoscopy. But remember, that's a camera up a tube.
And they sort of gone.
Yeah. You know what you need? Get an eye picture. Get somebody. Is this Joe?
It's Joe.
It's Joe. Joe. Get somebody to get your eye pictures for me and let me write on it, "This is Joe." And I'll look at your eyes for you. That's what you want to see, because all the discomfort of an endoscopy, and a colonoscopy, you'll do you nothing, because they're putting a camera up a tube. All right? They don't get to see the tube. They don't get to see in the wall of the tube. They can't see the cells. They can't see the lymph system. They say they can't see inflammation? Only if it's red.
Yeah.
Oh, your walls aren't red, so you don't have inflammation, and you could have cancer cells or a tumor on the outside of the wall. And it's just these are very for the procedure questionable worth it. But I do have chronic gastritis.
Well, he's not digesting.
Wait a minute. He has chronic gastritis, but wait a minute. They didn't see it in an endoscopy. No. That means in the wall, my friend. In the wall. That means your I can tell you, you're malabsorbed already. That's why you're looking the way he's looking. Yeah. His lymph system is backed up in the wall, all through his gut and all in his head. Yeah. So you got to really kick it up, Joe, and detox yourself deeper here. Get the new stomach tea I've got out. That's for gastritis. But remember, this is in the wall stuff. This is a systemic problem. Got to go through the kidneys for complete remedy. But you can use these herbs as a topical hit, just as an anti-inflammatory, a little bit in that way. So get that new stomach tea. It'll help you out immensely for that. Before you get any worse here. I also went to Northwestern to see a retina specialist as well as an ophthalmologist who saw nothing wrong with my eyes at all. Yeah. And this could be mucus floaters, stuff like that. And started, it's normal to have eye floaters if you are nearsighted. Oh, well, keep your floaters. It's normal. I hate that. Don't you hate that? When someone says, oh, you know what?
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. It's okay that your eyes were blue and now they're brown. Yeah. It's okay. But I'm telling you, all of these eye floaters came on suddenly when I was feeling, never had them in the past at all. Interesting. Now, and I got a dry mouth, and I just had a bowl of fruit for breakfast. And we got the new golden mangoes are out. Not the best in the world, though. We got a bunch back in the kitchen back there. They're the little golden mangoes. Mm-hmm. They're really good when they're ripe and stuff, but everything comes to the States from the islands unripe, and so.
So he wants to know how to get started. He really wants to
know how to get started.
Grape fast.
I like the grape diet. Let's do a grape diet. And I would do, give me about 20 days of a grape diet. Let's eat all the grapes you want. Joe, eat them all the time. Just eat grapes, or pick 3 fruit. I don't care, somewhere within that realm, and just spend 2 or 3 weeks doing that. But you're going to be a while doing this. Don't get upset, but you're going to be a while. You want to work yourself into 2 kidney formulas, one capsule, 1 tincture. You want 2 lymphatic formulas, 1 capsule, 1 tincture, and get working with the GI Broom and stuff like that. But I would probably, you got the upper circ, that's a good take. I believe I would do the brain and nerve if you can afford that. You don't need to do the parasite G, but 1 or 2 bottles. If you don't see any worms or flukes, anything that you can see in your stools, unusual, then you're pretty good with that one. Just stay on M for about a month or 2, get the fungus out of the body a little bit. Might come back and forth with that one. But I would definitely want to do 2 lymphatics and two kidney and bladders. Get your kidney fit, and you want an endocrine gland at least. I'm going to hit you with a glandular and the adrenal glands. I'm going to really kick his adrenals up.
Very good.
Thank you so much for your time. Oh, Joe, you're welcome, my friend. Listen, that's why we're here, man. Love you, man. But in just what you're saying here, I can tell you, you're going to be a little while detoxing yourself, because you're involved all the way up in the head, man. So you got to clean this all out.
Don't be frightened of it. not to be frightened of it.
Yeah, just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy the
Well,
process.
I think that when you first step into this level and you have serious problems, it needs to be your way of life.
Yeah.
And it's not, you don't want to, you want to get this right. This is your consciousness, and you're in control of that. When you're not, you're in your mind too much, and your mind is in control. So this is why I give you these little tools to step back outside of the mind, and then you can control what's going on more. When you're in your mind is controlling, and it's already trained, and there's no control. Exactly. So you have to step outside of those mental faculties, and then that's consciousness, pure awareness, and that's where you really are. So then that'll help you to gain some control over this. But you have to enter that as a way of life, basically, and not struggle with it if you can. Take it on like it's your new hobby, something you discovered, like surfing or like mountain climbing or whatever. This is you. You're regenerating. It's not something you're doing external. This is affecting your whole beingness, your whole consciousness, and enjoy it. Because you make up a good point, and it really does work better. When you're struggling and fighting, it's tough, because then you're bitching and you're pulling out and you're fighting your mind. Yeah. And these are just conditioned states by societies, by your churches, by your town, by American Dietetics Association. You look at how the medical doctors have weaved this conditioned thinking into people, like cancer. People think it's a disease. They're out there. Like you said, it, the key word of cancer is fear. And I see it in the eyes of people that are YouTubers that have it, that come in to see me, and they know what it is, but you see the word fear. Can't have the fear. Yeah. Cells are getting chewed up in your body all the time, and people are going to be producing more and more tumors because they're not filtering less and less, and it's just getting worse and worse. And you guys know the magic and know how to deal with this. And I've got to go. Maybe we can do one more. Yesterday I received your email and began watching and researching. First of all, I must say thank you. I am on the same page as Dr. Morris on so many levels. After 15 years of being ill, I finally tested positive for Lyme disease. I have been left financially, mentally, emotionally drained, and I'm still very ill. And that's another reason I do this. And you do this. Look at this. This is what they did. They drained their money and said, okay, we're done. We're done. You'll find your way. I have watched the videos on this, but have some questions. I am currently using the natural approach to treating Lyme, called the Cowden protocol. And except for the alcohol content, I believe it is a very good system, except for the support of lymph, kidneys, bowels, endocrine, etc. I have found I am very sensitive to the alcohol added to products. We'll go to the glycerins then, or burn the alcohol off a little bit, my dear.
He wants to know the simple method of burning it off, right?
Well, there's two ways of doing it. You can burn the whole bottle off. You can put it in a little bit of simmering, not too boiling of water, but simmering a little bit. You can put the whole bottle in there just for 15 minutes or so while it's off and coming down, cooling off. The water's cooling off, and you're evaporating your whole bottle. Or you can do it by dosage. Doing that same thing. Get all your dosages in a bottle, set it in a little hot water, not boiling or anything, and just let it sit there with the lid open and go do your thing, and for about 15 minutes to a half hour, and it'll evaporate out of there. Right. They're still strong, I still warn you. It isn't just the alcohol, the herbs are strong. I have also learned that I have gene mutation, MTHFR, okay, that doesn't allow my body to detox properly. See, when you buy into those things like that, you set yourself back. And I would say do not buy into this kind of crap that's out there. I don't know where someone said that to you, and taking all these tests and taking all your money with all these tests. But when you buy into stuff like that, then pretty soon you'll believe it. And I wouldn't believe nothing like that. I've never seen anybody that couldn't detoxify properly. That's bull crap. I would not even think about that. That's the kind of crap that's out there, even in our field. I'm sorry, you can't detoxify. You got a mutated gene.
Right,
sorry,
yeah.
It's coming down to your family. You got some of this is just outstanding bull crap. I don't care what these people come from. That does not allow you to detox properly, and I'm on Nature's Sunshine, sound like Nature's Sunshine, Lymphomax, bowel detox, and urinary maintenance. You don't want more than maintenance, honey. You're going to get these things moving. Nature's way, I love them. Good bunch of people. You need to step up and get a much higher thinking going on here. You really need to get into this higher level of detox. And you don't have to spend tons of money to do it. You get the teas, you can get the bulk herbs. Matter of fact, one of you had a great idea, so I'm going to carry these formulas in bulk herbs. So it's cheaper, you get more out of them, and you can make your own. I am glad that I have these products because I truly believe I would be alive without them, and I believe that's true. Nature's Sunshine is good. I'm about ready. Yeah. Without them, but am not in love as I feel they aren't enough. I am also seeing a
LLMD.
An LLMD? I don't know what to do. I wish so badly that I could afford a consultation with Dr. Morse. Sweetheart, you've got this whole clinic is full of people that'll help you. And we've got a Facebook site like no other. Get on this Facebook site, Friends of Dr. Morse, and they're full of healers there. They'll be glad to help you. No charge. You've got tons of help. Don't make that one of your things because that would be an excuse. You have tons of help. My clinic is always affordable for you. We have things to help in the back. People give herbs back. Companies send us herbs. They break them. So there's all kinds of ways to help. So if you're suffering and you're down, don't use it as an excuse, right? But I am unable to work and rely solely on the husband's income. Well, you know what? We can help you. You got to talk to Jennifer about this. I don't know where to begin. I can't afford the suggested to me by you, but really don't feel my health can afford not to either. I have a lot of kidney pain, as well as know the importance of the lymphatic system. Would you be able to suggest perhaps 2 of your supplements that would be the most important? I will begin saving the purchased a copy of Dr. Morris's book. Well, here's the thing. Put your money toward your herbs. You want your adrenal glands, you want your kidneys, and you want your lymph system and your GI tract, the Fab Four. Adrenals are endocrine gland, kidney, lymphatic, and GI tract. That's minimal that you want to try to get. You don't need to spend money for my book. You got all these free videos. You've got a Facebook site. You got several Facebook sites that are free, that are loving people to help you. You just got all kinds of help, so there should be no excuse, sweetheart, seriously. And I would kick this way up. I wouldn't buy into the gene thing, crap, and stuff like that, because that's just another one of these people that just feed crap into people. And there's no gene like that in the first place. So you really just got to get yourself focused on it. Now, listen to this. When you don't have the money, Organic Superman, I'll get you next time, man. When you don't have the money for herbs, now, you can buy bulk herbs and drink the teas, like the Hill All tea, $26. They'll give you a little break. You might even find some free stuff back on the shelves. You know, there's always a way. But diet is number uno. Put yourself on a grape fast right now, like Joe is. You know, put yourself on a 20, 30, 40-day grape fast, or some augmentation of that. Or do all fruit all day and a salad at night. But your diet is key here, above all things else, financially. You got to do the diet. And then you can do the formulas that you need and stuff like that. Yeah. You see how fast we even we've only got a few.
Geez, gosh, how do you do it?
And I dominate. I apologize for that. But
that's okay.
So anyway, we want to thank you all, always humbly. Thank you for all your hard work on yourselves. And don't let anybody put you in a box with gene consciousness or anything else that would suggest that you don't have the ability to do anything. Don't buy into that. You have all the power you need, and from you know where. You just take that time into yourself. We're here as your buddies, and we'll always be here to help you. And there's plenty of Facebook people to help you. Like I said, the Facebook site we have is just incredible. So there's always free help. And there's free help in this clinic. So there should be no excuse for anybody that wants the help to get it. Because I'm sure you're the same way. If there's someone that needs it, there's none of us going to turn you down. We're all God people. So we thank you all. You have fun. I'll try to do more videos this week, and I hope you're with me and we do some videos. You came a long way, and we're having fun as much as we can, and we love you all. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.